What if Nezuko never survived Muzan's first attack against her family? What would have happened to the Demon Slayers? I'm confident one way or the other this thought crossed your mind, so I'm here to make that into a reality. In this video, we'll answer the question, what if Muzan killed Nezuko in episode 1? The story begins as it does in the original anime, with Tanjiro returning home to find his family massacred, with only his sister Nezuko surviving, albeit turned into a demon. However, in this alternate universe, Muzan ultimately kills Nezuko before she can turn into a demon, leaving Tanjiro as the sole survivor. Giyu then arrived and saw the state of Tanjiro's family. Tanjiro saw him and begged to be taken as a disciple demon slayer, but Giyu rejected him, thinking he didn't have any talent as he didn't see Tanjiro's fighting abilities unlike in the main series. After being rejected, Tanjiro enters the temple. He encounters a powerful demon who proves to be too much for him to handle alone. In the original story, Nezuko saves Tanjiro from this demon, but in this alternate timeline, Tanjiro is unable to defeat the demon and is killed in the battle. This marks a significant turning point in the story, as the protagonist, who had always been the driving force of the plot, is now gone. Also, there will be no remaining possible users of the sun breathing technique, which was to be the significant killing force against the Demon King, Muzan. Zenitsu Agatsuma and Inosuke Hashira, two of the rising participants in the Demon Slayer Corps final selection exam, embark on a mission to the Suzumi Mansion. But without Tanjiro's leadership and guidance, they face a much more difficult and deadly challenge. As they approach the mansion, they encounter a group of demons, who are much stronger and more ruthless than the ones they faced during the exam. Zenitsu and Inosuke kill two of them but struggle to keep up with the speed and strength of Kyogai. Despite their best efforts, Zenitsu and Inosuke are ultimately overpowered by the demon. In a final stand, they manage to slay two of the three demons but are gravely injured in the process. Their deaths are a tragic end to their journey and a stark reminder of the dangers and risks of being a demon slayer. With the main trio dead, Giyu Tomioka and Shinobu Kocho, two members of the Hashiras, go to Natagumo Mountain after a distress call has been made. As they approach the mountain, they are confronted by Arui, a lower moon, and the 4 spider family demons. The fighting scene is intense and brutal, as the two Hashiras work together to defeat their opponents. Despite the odds in terms of numbers, they prove that they're rightful to the title of being a Hashira. They are able to slaughter the demons with ease, as their skills and strength are too much for the demons to overcome. However, this came at a deadly price with all the lower ranked demon slayers dead. After Rui's death, just like in the main series, Muzan then calls a meeting of all the lower moons. But unlike in the original story, Muzan didn't kill them for being worthless but spared them considering they can still be useful for being canon fodder. Although he spared the other lower moon in contrast to the original story, he still sees them as useless, but he saw some potential for Enmu, the lower rank one, and gives him more of his blood to make him stronger. Muzan knew that the Flame Hashira would board the train, so to redeem themselves and raise their value, he tasked all of the lower moons to kill the Flame Hashira. However, Muzan also secretly contacted Akaza and instructed him to follow the lower moons and kill any of them who failed or decided to flee. Rengoku boards the Mugen train to investigate the disappearance of numerous demon slayers. As the train departs, he is the only demon slayer who is left to face the demons on his own. Rengoku encounters the lower moons and Enmu, a demon who is controlling the passengers of the train using his blood demon art. The fight scene is chaotic, as the Flame Hashira battles the lower moons in a fierce fight. Despite the odds, he shows his strength and skill, taking down the demons one by one. As he makes his way towards Enmu, however, proves to be a formidable opponent, and with the added power of his blood demon art, he puts up a tough fight against the Flame Hashira. The battle, however, comes to an end when Rengoku found an opportunity by taking advantage of a gap in Enmu's defenses and easily decapitated him. Rengoku managed to kill Enmu and the entire lower rank moon demons just by himself, proving that he was worthy of being a Hashira. As the battle in the Mugen train ends, the Flame Hashira, Kyojiro Rengoku, finds himself again facing a powerful opponent, but now it's much worse. This opponent is in the form of the Upper Moon 3, Akaza. Despite this, Rengoku did not falter. The heat of Rengoku's flames filled the train as the two continued their deadly dance. In the end, just like in the original course of events, Kyojiro Rengoku fell in battle. He fought bravely to the very end, but ultimately, he was no match for Akaza's overwhelming strength. Moving on to the Entertainment District arc, as the Sound Hashira, Tengen Uzui, entered the Entertainment District, he knew that something was wrong. His wives were nowhere to be found. Suddenly, he found himself face to face with the Upper Moon Demon 6, Daki and Gyotaro. Without the help of his wives, Nezuko and the trio, Tengen was forced to face the two demons alone. The battle between the Sound Hashira and the Upper Moon demons shook the foundations of the district. Without Nezuko's unique abilities, the battle against Daki was much more challenging. In the original story, Nezuko's blood demon art was crucial in the battle against Daki, but with their absence, the Sound Hashira was left to fend for himself. Also, without Tanjiro, Zenitsu Agatsuma, and Inosuke, the battle that they should have had a small chance of winning became non-existent. The battle between the Sound Hashira and the Upper Moon demons was unrelenting, with both sides giving it their all, but in the end, Tengen Uzui fell in battle. His death was a significant loss to the Demon Slayer Corps, as he was one of their strongest fighters. After the events of the Entertainment District arc, the Hashiras held a meeting to discuss the loss of Tengen and Rengoku and the status of the ongoing battle against the demons. They mourned the loss of their comrades and acknowledged the need to continue fighting, despite the heavy losses they had suffered. The Swordsmith village is a small town located in the mountains, where skilled blacksmiths craft the finest blades for the Demon Slayer Corps. The village is well known for its high-quality swords, which are said to be capable of slaying even the most powerful demons. But even they weren't safe as two Upper Moons set their sights on the village. As the Miss Hashira, 𝗪𝘁𝗰 Tokito, and his fellow demon slayer, Genya, engage the upper-ranked demons Hantengu and Gyoko, it becomes clear that they are facing a nearly impossible task. Hantengu's blood demon art allows him to create 4 clones of himself, all of which are as strong as an upper-ranked demon. Meanwhile, Gyoko's unique blood demon art and techniques give him an overwhelming advantage over even the most skilled demon slayers, making him a formidable opponent even for a Hashira. As the battle wears on, it becomes clear that the odds are against 𝗪𝘁𝗰 and Genya. Despite their skill and courage, they are simply outmatched by the demons they face. However, just when all seems lost, the love Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji, arrives on the scene. With her incredible strength and fighting abilities, she is able to hold her own against Hantengu, taking some of the pressure off of 𝗪𝘁𝗰 and Genya. The fighting is intense, and the Demon Slayers are pushed to their limits as they unlock their Demon Slayer marks. However, they are ultimately able to slay both Hantengu and Gyoko, saving the day and ensuring the safety of the people they have sworn to protect. Unfortunately, the victory comes at a great cost. Genya, the brave and skilled demon slayer who fought alongside 𝗪𝘁𝗰, is killed in battle as he didn't receive help from Tanjiro. Also, the two Hashiras are left in a very sorry state. They are very injured and weak. Muzan called for a meeting with the Upper Moons to discuss their next course of action. He was displeased with their failures and their inability to take down the Demon Slayer Corps, and he reminded them of the dire consequences they would face if they failed him again. The Upper Moons, meanwhile, discussed their plans to defeat the Hashiras and destroy the Demon Slayer Corps. They were confident in their abilities, but knew that they would need to be cautious and strategic in their approach. Muzan placed Nakime as the new upper rank 4, Kaigaku as the new upper rank 6 with Daki, and Gyotaro promoted to upper rank 5. In the aftermath of the fierce battle in the Swordsmith village, the Hashira began to prepare for the upcoming final battle against Muzan and his remaining demons. With the casualties suffered in the previous battles, it was clear that the remaining Hashira had to strengthen their skills and teach the members of the Demon Slayer Corps new techniques to improve their chances of survival. As the training progresses, the Demon Slayers grow in strength and confidence, ready to face whatever lies ahead. Also, in this chapter, Lady Tamayo arrives at the Demon Slayer headquarters and proposes to help Kagaya Ubayashiki in killing Muzan. As the stage is set for a final showdown between the Demon Slayers and the demons, it is the latter who takes the first move. Sanemi detects one of Nakime's demon eyes, signaling the beginning of the end for the Demon Slayers. Meanwhile, at Kagaya's household, Muzan, the Demon King, arrives unexpectedly just like in the main series. Just then, Kagaya sets his plan in motion. An emergency summon is activated, calling all the Hashiras and Demon Slayers to the scene. The Ubayashiki mansion explodes, catching Muzan off guard, while Tamayo and Gyomei launch an attack. Even after Gyomei beheads him, Muzan does not die. Gyomei recalls Kagaya's words that only the sun can kill Muzan, and they decide to fight until the sun rises. All the Hashiras join the fight and attack Muzan simultaneously, but he simply laughs and uses Nakime's blood demon art to trap all the Demon Slayers in the Infinity Castle. Amidst the chaos, Muzan decapitates Tamayo and Yushiro without hesitation. The situation seems hopeless for the Demon Slayers, but they continue to fight with all their might, hoping to find a way to defeat Muzan once and for all. Nezuko's absence would have had a significant impact on the final battle against Muzan Kibutsuji. In the original story, Nezuko's unique abilities were crucial in the final battle against Muzan, particularly in her ability to resist his blood demon art and fight off other demons. Without Nezuko, Tanjiro, and his companions, the Demon Slayer Corps will have a more difficult time fighting. They may have had to come up with alternative strategies to defeat Muzan and take down the Upper Moons. But it's already too late for such strategies. Only a head-on clash will decide the future of this world. Shinobu Kocho, the insect Hashira, engaged in a fierce battle against Doma, the upper rank 2 demon. Her poison didn't work on him, and so she found herself in an intense struggle. She remembered her older sister Kanae, who was killed by Doma and was determined to avenge her. The battle was intense, with both sides landing blows and taking damage. Meanwhile, the other Hashira were also fighting against their respective upper rank demons. 𝗪𝘰𝗵, the Stone Hashira, and Muichiro Tokito, the Mist Hashira, were fighting against Kokushibo, the upper rank 1. Kokushibo was very strong, and without help, 𝗪𝘰𝗵 and Muichiro were unable to defeat him. In the end, Kokushibo managed to kill both of them in a fair fight. Muzan was watching the battle unfold, and he grew bored. He decided to join the battle, and the war quickly tilted in the demon's favor. The Demon Slayers had managed to awaken their Demon Slayer marks, but it was not enough. Muzan was too powerful, and the Demon Slayer Corps were no match for him. Giyu Tomioka, the Water Hashira, was fighting against Akaza, the upper rank 3 demon. Akaza was also very strong and had already killed Kyojuro Rengoku, the Flame Hashira. Tomioka was determined to avenge him, and so he fought with all of his might. In the end, he failed to kill Akaza as his water-breathing technique was no match for Akaza's destructive death technique. Obanai Igoro, the Serpent Hashira, and Mitsuri Kanroji, the Love Hashira, were fighting against Nakime, the upper rank 4 demon. Nakime's ability to trap her enemies was a challenge for them, but they managed to overpower her. However, Muzan would arrive and kill both of them as they stood no match against him. Sanemi Shinaguzawa, the Wind Hashira, was fighting against Kaigaku, the upper rank 6. And Daki and Gyotaro, the upper rank 5. He was quickly overpowered and killed by the 3 as he posed the second biggest threat, next to 𝗪𝘰𝗵, because of his wild and deadly technique against demons. Shinobu was still fighting against Doma, and she managed to wound him. However, it wasn't enough to kill him. She decided to use the most powerful technique she had and gave it her all, even if she had to sacrifice her life to kill Doma. She managed to pierce her neck. However, Doma would absorb her just like in the main series. Kana would arrive, fight Doma, and ultimately suffer the same fate as Shinobu because Inosuke was not there to help her. In the end, Muzan had wiped out the Demon Slayer Corps, and the Age of the Demons had begun. They now ruled and dominated the world. There was no one left to stop them. The sacrifice of the Demon Slayer Corps would never be forgotten, but it was all for naught. Muzan had won, and humanity had lost. The remaining survivors lived in fear of the demons, who now roamed the world freely. That's it for what will happen if Muzan killed Nezuko in episode 1. If you have your own theories, comment them down below. And in the meantime, instead of Muzan killing Nezuko, did you ever wonder what would have happened if Daki and Gyotaro didn't die in the Entertainment District arc? If so, check out our next video.